Well, welcome to the First Unitarian Church in Salt Lake City. I'm the Reverend Tom Goldsmith, Senior Minister of this church, and it's great to have you with us on Mother's Day. What we do traditionally on Mother's Day is, of course, we celebrate moms and offer our appreciation and love, but we also take the opportunity to think a little bit about some of the gender issues, the gender dynamics that are going on in society at our current time. And it's always intriguing how far we lag behind a just world when it comes to women. Now, you may say that I look like I'm really out of character being the senior minister, and we're actually here in church, but I'm actually in character for a play that we'll be doing a little later on in the program. Kathleen Cahill, who is a member of our church and also a very, very distinguished playwright, she has been produced literally all over the country. She's the playwright in residence at the Salt Lake Acting Company. She has put together a radio play, and as we discussed this actually last week, I thought it was perfect. She sent me the script, and I asked her permission to use it. I thought it would be great for yet another slant on gender dynamics that we're facing right now in our time. So the play takes place in a basketball playground arena, and so that's why I'm dressed as I am, because my wife Mary and I are going to be playing some basketball a little later in the program. Just a couple of announcements. I want to remind everybody that the very important annual meeting for this church will be held on Sunday, May 31st at 11 o'clock. You will get a notice of the annual meeting taking place and instructions on not only how to tune us in, but also how to vote. Also want to mention that always at the time when we normally have our church picnic, we're not going to have our church picnic on June 14th. But one of the things we always do ritualistically in church is we have a flower communion. So the COVID-19 is going to preclude that flower communion, but Monica still wants to do something related to flowers, you and flowers. She wants to establish a collage of you, all of you, either in your garden or holding a flower or having a flower in your hair or a flower between your teeth, whatever. Women, men, kids, everybody, we're going to have a flower communion by way of technology. Also want to remind you that your pledges are indeed all important. Please make sure that you finish paying your pledge for this fiscal year, which ends on June 30th, and get in your new pledge card for July 1, 2020 to June 30th, 2021. Thanks.
Good morning. My name is David Owens. I am the Director of Music here at First Unitarian Church, and I would like to welcome you this Sunday morning. And welcome to all the mothers who are joining us, even if you're just a mother in your heart. We'd like you to take a minute, if you would like, get your chalice. Let's all light that together to bring in this morning of gratefulness and thanks. Symbol of light, symbol of knowledge, symbol of warmth, symbol of freedom. We light this chalice as a symbol of our faith. Here we gather to celebrate hope and the infinite possibilities of love.
Hi, everyone. Well, staying at home has given me the opportunity to learn to play the bass. And we're going to do a sweet little song from the 1930s.
Called You Are My Sunshine.
So if you feel like singing, please join us.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine.
sleeping, I dreamed I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken. So I hung my head and I cried. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Please don't take my sunshine away. Please don't take my sunshine away. Okay.
Mother's Day has always been complicated. In the United States, Unitarian abolitionist and suffragette Julia Ward Howe wrote a Mother's Day proclamation as a call for peace in wartime. Today, Mother's Day is a day set aside to worship the idea of motherhood. For some, Mother's Day calls up powerful feelings because of the vastly different experiences we have had as mothers ourselves or as not being mothers. Yet, just as we have all, sometime by someone, been mothered, so have we all mothered, regardless of gender identity or expression. We've mothered our own children or those of another. We practice unconditional love, support, and care as we go through our lives. This is the mothering. This is what we celebrate and honor today. Even if we've never birthed a baby, we have birthed perhaps a book or a painting or a garden or a song. We have cared for an animal or our friends' children. Thank goodness my own children have bonus moms in this world. The job of mothering is too vast. We need the mothers surrounding us, supporting us all in our endeavors. So today, I invite you to take a piece of paper and some pens and think about somebody who has mothered you. This can be its child, especially if you are a child right now, or as an adult. Who has wiped your tears? Who has taken care of you when you were sick? Who is your cheerleader? Who reminds you that while you are perfect just as you are, you could be more? With your pen, I want you to write a note or draw a picture for the person that's mothered you. It can be as simple as, "Dear blank, thank you for mothering me." This is a rite of passage. We have looked back on our lives and paid attention to the mothering in them, the mothering we have received, and the mothering we have given. In doing so, we are connected with our human family, past, present, and future. So may it ever be.
I don't see anybody else here on the playground, do you?
No, looks pretty vacant.
I think we can take off our mask, huh?
Let's do it.
Okay. Poof. Let's play ball.
Wow, I haven't been in a playground for years.
I'm so jazzed up to be out of the house.
A few weeks ago, it was roaring with kids. Where did they go?
All the kids are stuck at home, including ours.
It's like a cloud descended and turned all the kids into two 50-year-olds with a basketball.
Two 50-year-olds who are ready to play ball. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Bam!
Oh, the years have passed by like a dream. Where did our life go?
Oh, don't get all deep and thoughtful on me, Mary.
This is how I am, Tom. I'm a librarian.
Hey, we got out of Space Station Zero, otherwise known as our house, to come here and have a little simple fun.
Well, I feel childish at my age to be in a playground playing ball.
What's childish about it? This is mature adult sports with an official NCAA b-ball that I found in the garage. Hook shot. Nothing but net. Here, you toss a few. Warm up. Go ahead. Take a shot. Go on. Shoot. Just take the shot, Mary.
I'm not ready.
Just throw the ball at the basket.
I'm concentrating.
What do you think this is? Chess? Look at that. You did it.
No, beginner's luck.
Nothing but net first time out. Okay, ready to play?
Do we really have to play a game? Can't we just take turns throwing the ball at the hoop?
Oh, what's the point of that?
I'm terrible at ball games.
So what if you're terrible? We're just having fun. We're releasing a little tension and getting some exercise.
I don't know, Tom.
We came out here to play ball. What's the problem?
Well, you have to be tall to play basketball. You're 6 foot. I'm 5'2". This is not my game.
We're not playing basketball. We're going to play a very simple, fun game I used to play as a kid.
I'm just not competitive.
This isn't a competitive game.
Your idea of competitive is different from my idea of competitive.
Why is that?
Because you're competitive.
I'm not competitive.
Yes, you are.
By what standards am I competitive? By the standards of the capitalist world out there, I'm not competitive. In fact, I'm a wuss.
You're not a wuss.
Thank you.
Not compared to me. Maybe you're a wuss compared to your colleagues, but not to me.
Compared to which colleagues am I a wuss?
I don't know.
Come on, you brought it up. Which of my colleagues?
I don't know all your colleagues.
Well, of the colleagues that you know, which are the ones, in your opinion, less wuss-like than me?
You're not a wuss. Can we stop bickering?
Oh, are we bickering?
We're starting to bicker. I can feel it.
We came out here to stop bickering.
We can bicker when we go home.
Something to look forward to. In the meantime, we're playing horse.
Horse?
The game is called horse. The way it works is the first person takes a shot at the basket, and if I make it, then you have to take the same shot.
Are you the first person?
I don't have to be first. You can be first if you want to be first.
I don't need to be first. You can be first. This is your game.
It's not my game. I don't own it. It's just a game for fun.
For fun.
Okay, so let's just say that I take the first shot and make the basket. Then you have to take the same shot and make it. If you don't, you get an H.
And what do you get?
I don't get anything.
If I don't make the basket, you get nothing?
And you get an H.
And if I do make the basket?
Nobody gets anything. We just keep playing.
What's the point of the game if nobody gets anything?
You get things. You get letters. Like you get an H, and then an O, and an R, and an S, E, horse.
And then?
Then you lose.
What does the winner get?
The winner experiences the pleasure of not losing.
But the winner doesn't really win.
You lose or you don't lose. That's it. You can think of it as a socialist game.
I don't agree with your interpretation of socialism.
We don't have to agree politically. I mean, that's the beauty of games.
I have a problem with the premise of this game.
Ah, all right. What's wrong with the premise?
I think it's sad.
You think this is sad? What about Russian roulette? And you lose, you're shot in the head. You're dead. That is a sad game.
This game is depressing because you don't really win, you just don't lose.
And if you don't lose, you're the winner. You're a winner because you're not a loser. Come on, let's play.
I'll play one game. One game. That's it.
Okay, one game.
Okay, you go first.
You can go first.
Oh, I'm so terrible at these games.
When I was a kid, we used to do crazy things like throw the ball backwards over our heads.
I'll do it that way.
No, don't do that. It's just a ridiculous shot that only screwball adolescent boys do. Don't try to throw the ball backwards over your... What are you... Mary, you're going to miss and blame me. Unbelievable. You did it. Go, Mary.
And I don't get a point?
No point. And now I have to shoot the same shot from the same place, and if I miss, I get an H.
And if you make the basket, you don't get a point?
I don't get a point.
Nobody ever gets a point?
There are no points in this game.
If you do something right, you should get points. That's why people attempt things. That's why they take risks and try and hope.
Sometimes there are no points.
This is such a sad game.
It's not sad. There's no sadness here. Look at the shot you just made.
I just can't get over the implicit existential injustice that is woven into this game.
What injustice?
Well, it's all about trying to keep up and never having a chance to get ahead.
What are you, an editorial in the New York Times? Is this the opinion pages? Come on, this is a playground. And we're playing a simple little game that I had fun playing when I was a kid. Okay, so now I got to get into this crazy position and shoot.
You hit the pole.
But I enjoyed myself. Now I have an H, and you get to take the next shot. Upside down, backwards, over your legs, under your legs, whatever you want. Your choice. Free enterprise. But if I were you, I'd shoot from back here. Nice straight shot like this. Nothing but net. Your turn.
Did you just take 2 turns?
I was just fooling around, shooting from back there because I like to shoot from back there. It's your turn. You're right.
I'll try from here.
You're under the basket, Mary. Move back a little.
I like it here.
No, you're not in position.
Now there's a position.
You're too close. You're just going to hit the rim.
Well, if I hit the rim, I get an H, so what?
You won't get an H.
I won't even get an H?
You don't want to get an H.
But I thought...
Look, if you don't make the shot, then it's my turn to decide where I want to shoot from. If you do make the shot, I have to make the shot that you just made from this very difficult, from this impossible position that you've chosen right under the basket.
So, I'm making it hard for you. Isn't that what I'm supposed to do?
You're making it hard for yourself.
I'll just do the best I can.
You're not going to make it from where you're standing. It's impossible.
That's okay. It's just a game.
How did you do that?
I don't know. It just went in.
Oh, it sure did.
Now you have to make the same shot, right?
Yep.
It's a tough shot.
Oh, you don't know how tough it is.
Oh, I know.
You don't know.
I know.
What are you sympathizing with me now? Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to hit the rim.
You might not.
I'm going to hit the rim. See? I told you. I hit the rim. But that's fine. So I have H and O, and it's your turn.
Again?
Yes. Now, wait, where are you going to shoot from this time?
I feel comfortable here.
You have the whole court to play in. The whole court, the whole playground. Why do you want to keep shooting from right under the basket?
I don't know. I'm used to it.
You're not used to it. You just started playing this game. You did it again. How did you do that?
I concentrated.
I'm up against the master of the dink shot.
Why is it a dink shot?
When you're close to the basket, it's called a dink shot. That's what we used to call it.
Dink, as in dinky, as in minor, lesser, second rate, insignificant. I'm the master of the insignificant.
I didn't say that.
You said it was a dink shot,
Dink just means easy.
but you said it wasn't easy. You said it was impossible. When women achieve something, men always reduce its importance. It's a classic tool of the patriarchy.
Oh, we use the tools we have at our disposal. What can I say?
I would just appreciate it if you didn't call it a dink shot.
Ah, okay, it's not a dink shot. I apologize. As predicted, I missed. Now I have HOR.
My turn again?
Yep. So you're going to stand under the basket again?
It's my spot.
Your spot. It says Mary in invisible letters under the basket.
I like it.
Oh.
Are you okay?
Yeah, why?
You made a noise like you're hurt or something.
Give me the ball.
Here you go.
You know what I think? I think the basket is dark matter, and the gravitational pull is so great it just sucks the ball right in, but only for you, not for me.
You might make it this time.
Directly under the freaking basket? No way.
Hey, aren't you going to dribble first?
I don't need to dribble.
Well, I find it helps me focus.
I don't need to focus. I know what's going to happen. Okay, so I have HORS. Well, this is going to be a short game.
Don't you think attitude has something to do with it?
Oh, sure. Attitude has a lot to do with it.
I think you're developing a negative attitude.
Me? Nah. Go ahead, take your shot under the basket, and it'll go in. And then I'll have to take the same shot, only I'll hit the rim and get an E, and the game will be over, and we can go home.
We came here to have fun.
But there is no fun. There's no fun anywhere. All the fun has been taken out of the world because of bad people. Bad people like me. I'm a terrible ball player. You at least are improving. I'm not improving. I'm getting worse. Pretty soon, I'm going to be your ball boy.
Tom, it's just a game. It's only a game.
I know it's a game. Do I need to be told it's a game?
It's not a threat to your status as a man.
What status?
Oh, come on.
You know something?
What's that?
This game brings out your need to win.
I don't need to win. I'm a librarian, and librarians don't need victory. We need order.
Yeah, but that's just a cover.
My cover?
You have a need to win, but you haven't come to terms with it. You pretend you're all about the Dewey Decimal System, but in reality...
No one uses the Dewey Decimal System anymore. And what does that even mean?
In reality, you're competitive, but you can't deal with it.
I'm competitive?
Many women suffer from this syndrome.
And how do you know?
I read about it in a book, Women and Winning.
You read that book that I gave you 2 years ago?
Well, you said it was good, so I read it. And now I see the truth of it being played out right before my eyes. I never realized this about you. Mary, how much have you this unacknowledged need to win? You can argue with me if you want to, but I know what I see.
I'm so touched you did that.
What?
You read that book.
Well, you gave it to me.
Yeah, but I didn't think you'd actually read it.
Oh, it was very enlightening. Now, Catherine the Great, she did not have this problem, but she's unusual. Hillary Clinton has a version of this problem that's more complicated because of a negative blowback from the gender normative world. Eleanor Roosevelt had a very hard time with competition. You remind me of Eleanor Roosevelt, a cute Eleanor Roosevelt.
I do.
Intelligent, a little introverted and shy, but when you need to win, you go for it.
Well, sometimes I do. But because you read the book, I'm going to shoot from back here and give you a break.
Of course it went in. You could shoot from another state and it would go in.
I'll get the ball.
I'm surprised it doesn't just roll back to you on its own.
Here you go, Tom.
Right. So I'm hanging by the merest thread, and then I go to my death. Okay, that's it. Horse, end the game. I lost. Do not apologize.
I didn't expect to win. I didn't expect to not lose.
It's okay. Things happen. Unexpected, unpredictable things happen all the time.
They do.
This is sort of like Boise State defeating the Boston Celtics. Unbelievable, right?
Boise State's a college team and the Celtics are professionals, so they would never.
In an alternative universe, Mary, it could happen. Maybe.
Are you okay, Tom?
Of course. Sure. My wife beat my ass, but that's okay. I can deal with it. It's okay. Because you know what, Mary?
What, Tom?
You always surprise me.
You surprised me, too.
Okay, let's go home. Let's go.
Hey, Tom.
Come on.
Are you up for another game?
Another game? Are you kidding me?
Best 2 out of 3.
I'll
go first. Winner goes first.
No. Loser goes first. That's me. That's the rules. And I'm shooting from back here. Back here, Mary, at the foul line. Oh. There's a great exchange in Kathleen Cahill's short comedic radio play when the wife says, after making the so-called dink shot, she says, "When women achieve something, men always reduce its importance. It's a classic tool of the patriarchy." To which her husband responds, not really getting her point, but he feels he has this opportunity now to be sardonic. He says, well, we use the tools we have at our disposal. I wonder if that patriarchal tool was applied again just last week when a judge ruled to dismiss the case filed by the American women's national soccer team. They had won the World Cup. The men never made it past the first qualifying round. and yet the women were receiving a far lower salary than the male soccer players. What does it take to comprehend the absurdity? What does it take to justify the disparity in pay? I mean, how else can the National Soccer Association get away with this unless they intend to demean or belittle the athleticism of women? Now, these women soccer players have demonstrated a need to win. We recall from the play that somehow that's perceived as a flaw in women? I don't think so. Or it must mean that men really hate to lose. Now, maybe women will receive equal pay the day we pass the Equal Rights Amendment. I wouldn't hold my breath. Gender dynamics have even come into play during this COVID-19 pandemic. Men and women forced to work at home have not fared equally in this crisis. When the newly conceived home office has limited space, the male almost always gets the equivalent to the corner office. Most women must make do and transform a closet or even a bathroom into her own working quarters. And most of the domestic work, like cleaning, shopping, cooking, and childcare, falls to the women. Why? Because the tools of patriarchy have positioned men to earn higher salaries than women, thus entitling them to a good home office with fewer home responsibilities. Money talks and holds a lot of power. Now, before the pandemic, women were spending 4 hours a day on kids and household chores compared to 2.5 hours for men. This disparity in household labor has expanded exponentially during this COVID-19. Many years ago, feminists pointed out, with pride, after Fred Astaire won all those accolades for his exquisite dancing, that Ginger Rogers did the same steps, only backwards, while wearing high heels. Which is to say why I love the story out of Buenos Aires recently, where women have broken the rules of dancing the tango. Traditionally, men dominate in machismo fashion while dancing the tango. Men invite women to dance through a subtle head jolt gesture, often signaled from across the room. On the dance floor, the man asserts control in a sequence of moves, usually quite sensuous, always domineering. It's a classic tool of patriarchy. But now, Argentinian feminists have turned this sexist dance culture on its heels, where the women are leading the men on the dance floor. Groping male hands, which never recognize boundaries, have been controlled by a coalition of activists who call themselves the Tango Feminist Movement. Now I can finally feel good about taking tango lessons. Not a moment too soon. Gender dynamics have long factored into the ways in which the world turns. It always has given an edge to the men in terms of income and status. But frankly, isn't it rather astounding that in the year 2020, the egregious inequality between men and women remains so conspicuous as, well, to be an embarrassment, a blatant injustice still running amok 100 years after women were begrudgingly given the right to vote. There's something obviously wrong with our culture when the ultimate glass ceiling for women remains intact. What's it going to take for a woman to rise to the presidency of this nation? What began as a legitimate contest of diverse candidates for the Democratic nomination, including women, people of color, openly gay, the Democratic Party wound up with a very old, straight, white man who years ago chaired the Senate Judiciary Committee, where he humiliated Anita Hill in her harassment charges against Clarence Thomas. For a while, the race for the Democratic nomination was a toss-up between two very old straight white men with a combined age of 157 years. But there's also a consolation prize. In this case, it's likely the vice presidential nominee will be a woman. I will head for the hills if it isn't. And there's a consolation for the U.S. women's soccer team as well. The Federation wants to settle the equal pay dispute. They're willing to offer a whopping $9 million to the women, but the women have asked for $67 million. What do women want? Well, at least our culture gets Mother's Day right. We hoist mom onto a pedestal and extol her virtues as a caretaker. She receives, well, perhaps a breakfast in bed, perhaps a box of chocolates and flowers, perhaps a pendant with jewels, perhaps a day off from cooking. It seems a celebration, but it's actually a diversion from our refusal to honor women as equals. Yes, I want to honor all moms today. I really do. I want to honor them with love and appreciation. I want to honor them also with equal pay, equal status, and the best home office in the entire house. Then I could say, Happy Mother's Day. Thanks. When our questions challenge a troubling and troubled world, may courage remain with us. May the love of truth comfort us and lead us. May honesty of thought and deed unite in us, and thus may the Spirit of life renew us. Amen.